This video is brought to you by Green Man Gaming. Click the link below if you want to see some incredible deals on some incredible games. Gaming backlogs are kind of annoying. You know, everyone has them, especially on PC. With the amount of times games go on sale, you know, they go to pretty low prices. I can't lie. But I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I already know why you're here. You already know why you're here. We're on to episode 4 now of this. So I'm just going to cut to chase and talk about the first game. And that game is Yakuza Kiwami 3. I just want to start this bit off playing this clip here because I just think it's really ironic who it's coming from.
Remind me, weren't you locked up for sex crimes while all that was going on?
That is all I'm going to say on the whole hiring a sex predator to be casted as a character and then doubling down on it drama because, well, it's already been spoken about enough really, and yeah, it's awful. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why they did this. But yeah, I just want to focus on Kiwami 3 as a game and what I think about it. I 100%ed Kiwami 3 and I'm really mixed on this game, man. Like, at the end of the day, it's Yakuza 3. I love Yakuza 3. Yakuza 3 is one of my favorite Yakuza games in the series. The only thing that brought it down for me was the gameplay. The gameplay was stiff. It was janky. Enemies blocked all the time. I know there's like some people out there who are like, oh, the gameplay's actually really good. It's just a skill issue. Okay, bro, whatever. So I was personally really excited when they announced Kiwami 3 because it was like the only Yakuza game that I really wanted to be remade because all the others play pretty well. And yeah, I was very disappointed. Okay, so let's start with the gameplay. The combat is an improvement over the original. I cannot deny that. But it somehow feels like a downgrade from the last few entries, even Pirate Yakuza, and I don't know why that is. Like, it feels kind of stiff, and I can't quite put my finger on why that is. Like, it just feels very rigid and stiff, and it feels closer to the original Yakuza 3 than something like Lost Judgment, which is just pretty baffling, honestly. I don't know how you can fuck that up. The new Okinawan style is pretty cool. A bit underwhelming though, I can't lie. And yeah, that's what I think about the combat. It's just whatever. They got rid of a bunch of sub-stories. Some of them were really good sub-stories, but I'm gonna be honest, when I was 100% in this, I just skipped all the cutscenes for them anyway because I knew I wouldn't give a shit. Story-wise, it's still Yakuza 3, but you have a pretty bad taste in your mouth because of the casting and because of the retcon. The retcon with Mine. Mine is one of my favorite villains in the series, and they did a retcon at the end, which I'm not going to spoil here, which it just ruined absolutely everything about this game, because there is a separate mode called Dark Ties where you play as Mine, which is really cool. I actually do enjoy that mode. It's not very long. They falsely advertised it as being like its own like Gaiden game, which are about like 10 hours long. It's not. If you get rid of the filler sections where you go through like that weird dungeon and the arena, it's about 2 hours long. Mine feels pretty cool to play. He has his like emo mode, which is special. The story's also really good for his mode. There's this section where he's in a bar with Daigo, and you see the relationship between the two, and it's very nice. And it's even referenced just before the boss fight with Kiryu, the final boss, where he sacrifices himself, and it's all building up, you know, it's all on a steady, it's all going up steadily, it's all like really good. And then there's the retcon at the end, which just ruins all of it. It ruins absolutely every single aspect of this game, and it just fuck off, just fuck off. Oh, and also there's the new biker mode, which I had to play through. It was really annoying. Please stop forcing us to do these modes. There's an entire chapter that is taken up by doing this mode. You have to progress in this mode to progress in the story. At certain points, it is absolutely ridiculous. It is stupid. I don't know why I 100%ed this game. Genuinely, I don't know why I 100%ed this game. It was a waste of my time. I regret doing it, and RGG, you gotta pull your socks up for Stranger Than Heaven. Gotta do well for that one. Please. Because this was an embarrassing game, I'm not gonna lie. The next game I want to talk about is High on Life. And you want to know something? I enjoyed High on Life. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't amazing. It was just good. You know, it was the most solid, like, 6 or 7 out of 10 game ever. I can't believe I unintentionally just said that. Jesus Christ. But yeah, High on Life, it was pretty good. I had a good time with it, and I'm glad that I finally finished it, because I know when this game came out, everyone was shitting on it. No one was saying good things about it on, like, social media. Everyone was just like, this is the most unfunny, obnoxious game I've ever played, and I do agree with these people. It is obnoxious. It is annoying. When Justin Roiland's on screen, when that fuck-ass gun called Kenny is talking, it is annoying, it is obnoxious, and I kinda hate it. But when it's not Justin Roiland and it's one of the other characters making a joke or saying something stupid, it is actually pretty funny. I can't deny the game got a laugh out of me a few times. I even got the achievement for beating the game with alien semen in my inventory. Didn't mean to get that one. It was just a guy selling it on the street, and I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, High on Life is a very basic game. It's just your bog standard first-person shooter with a strange alien coating that is just incredibly weird. None of it makes a lot of sense. It doesn't take any of itself seriously. I mean, it kind of does at certain points, but it's like, well, obviously you can't take it seriously because of how the game is. I really like the bit where you get Let's Do It at the end, and it's just a power trip, and again, I found him funny. It was a funny character. The way he just says, let's do it, every 2 seconds, it made me laugh, and I hate to admit that. I hate to admit that I found this game pretty funny at times. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's very much a one and done type game. I don't see myself coming back to it at any point in the future, but I did have a pretty good time with it. There's also quite a lot of elements of backtracking and exploration with like Metroidvania elements where you can get like abilities and power-ups and go back to a certain area where you can actually use that ability to find a secret item or money for upgrades, which is pretty cool. I didn't bother with that shit. I kind of just went through the story because I wasn't really that interested, but yeah, it was still a good time. I enjoyed it, I'm glad I played it, and I have High on Life 2 in my backlog, so I'm gonna have to get round to that one at some point. The next game I want to talk about is Death Stranding 2, and I liked Death Stranding 2, but I didn't finish it, and I'll explain why. Right, so my history with Death Stranding is a bit turbulent. I didn't really like the first one. I thought it was pretentious, nonsensical, and I found the gameplay more frustrating than anything. But I did really like the combat sections, you know, the parts where you're warped into World War I, where you're sneaking past BTs. I like that stuff. I just didn't really care for the delivery aspect of it, which, you know, that's the whole point of the game. But Death Stranding 2 streamlines the delivery aspect of it. It makes it way less frustrating, and it focuses way more on the combat, which I do like. I like that. There are a lot more like bandit camps and outposts, and it gives me heavy Metal Gear Solid 5 vibes, and I really love the gameplay of Metal Gear Solid 5. The amount of creativity of how you can tackle combat encounters in that game is just insane, and Death Stranding 2 lets you do that. I really liked it. Speaking of Metal Gear, there's this character who wears a bandana, and it's just like, that's literally Solid Snake. I don't know what else to say. Like, we know you made Metal Gear, Kojima, okay? These sections were really cool though. Like, the fact my PC did not explode during these sections is a miracle in on itself, and that's because it's not an Unreal Engine game. I didn't finish Death Stranding 2, not because I didn't like the game, but because I was getting kind of burnt out and fed up with it. Like, there's only a certain amount of times that I can make a delivery where I'm just going across an environment, carrying packages, riding a motorbike or a vehicle, traversing terrain. Like, I know some people absolutely love this stuff, and people could just say I've got TikTok brain, I don't have an attention span, but it just doesn't interest me. I don't really get that immersed in games like this. It is actually kind of rare for me to get immersed in a lot of games, and Death Stranding is definitely one that I just cannot get myself immersed in. I did really enjoy it though. It was a good time, but I dropped it at episode 8, which I think was a bit over halfway through the game. I put 15 hours into it. I had a good time with it, but I didn't want to force myself to beat it like I did the original, because that actually made me resent games, and I had to take a break from playing games as a whole. I also want to say I was provided a copy of this game by Green Man Gaming. If you want to get the game for yourself, it's probably on sale on there right now. I'll put a link in the description to it, so if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. The next game I want to talk about is Lollipop Chainsaw. Is such a mid game, but it is so good at the same time. It's a Suda51 game, all right? Suda51, he is the king at making mid 10 out of 10 games. Not mid as in like boring and mediocre. I mean like they're pretty janky. They've got weird difficulty curves. They're questionable game design moments, but they're just such unique experiences that you cannot get anywhere else. And Lollipop Chainsaw is no exception. If I was to put it in my Suda51 ranking, it would probably go just below Shadows of the Damned and just above No More Heroes 1, because this was a great game. I really enjoyed it. And did you know it was co-written by James Gunn as well? That's something I learned after beating it, and I don't know why he agreed to doing this. But yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw has you playing as a girl called Juliet, and on her 18th birthday, zombie outbreak happens. Luckily though, she's a zombie hunter with a rainbow chainsaw, and it just goes from there. None of it makes sense. It doesn't take itself seriously at any point. It is stupid. There's a Pac-Man stage. It's just insane. It's crazy. It's got fun gameplay. I really like the unique aspect of it focuses on you getting as many hits as possible rather than, you know, mixing combos, which is more of a unique spin on a hack and slash game. And although it does kind of reward just spamming buttons, overall it was a good experience. I'm glad I played it, and it just makes me realize that I really need to play Romeo as a Dead Man. I want to know where that'll rank on my Suda51 ranking. Probably high. I really like the look of that game, and I cannot wait to get to it in the future. The next game I want to talk about is Borderlands 4, specifically the DLC that just released recently for it. This DLC is not being well received at all. It is currently sat at mostly negative on Steam. I don't know if it will be mixed by the time I make this video, but yeah, it's currently sat at mostly negative. And that is because it is so short. I beat this game in 2 sittings. I could have beaten it in 1 sitting, but I had stuff I needed to do on that day. I know it comes with a new Vault Hunter, that being Cash, who looks really cool. I haven't played as him yet. I just played as Rafa, who I was like level 50 on. They extended the level cap, which is also pretty nice. And yeah, it's a very short DLC, but I did enjoy it. I can't lie. I did like it. And that is because it takes the Lovecraftian horror aspects of the DLC from Borderlands 3 and it just kind of expands on that. I don't think it's as good as that DLC from Borderlands 3, and that one really delves into like Lovecraftian, like cultist shit. This one's more focused on like just psychological horror and flesh. But yeah, it's a pretty good DLC. I would wait for it to go on sale. It'll probably go on sale on Green Man Gaming probably. Or you can just wait a few years and get the Ultimate Edition of Borderlands 4 for like 20 bucks. It will probably be 20 bucks in about a year or two with every single DLC, because that just happens with Borderlands game, and I still liked it. I just wish there was more here. That's the main problem. The next game I want to talk about is Far Cry 6. I did not like Far Cry 6. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I kind of hate Far Cry 6. It is one of the most boring games I've ever played in my entire life. Genuinely. I don't know what Ubisoft were thinking with this one. I don't get why they don't have like a revelation like they did with Assassin's Creed with Origins, you know, where they took more time out to make a different new experience. That was successful at the time. Sure, they've run that idea into the ground now, but at the time it was refreshing, it was cool, and Origins is one of my favorite in the series. Far Cry 6 does nothing new. The only new thing it does is it adds enemy health bars, which technically Far Cry New Dawn did, and that was a pretty shit aspect of it. And they added bullet types, which just convolutes the gunplay and kind of makes things more frustrating as a whole rather than strategic. It just isn't very fun. It looks amazing, don't get me wrong, but there's really nothing to explore. It's just enemy outposts, enemy guard posts, maybe some shitty collectible. Who knows, maybe if I played it with a friend I'd have a bit of fun, but anything's fun with a friend, it doesn't mean it's a good game. But yeah, I dropped it pretty quick in, and I'm glad I did, because it seems like not a lot of people say it gets any better. Supposedly it's one of the worst ones in this series, so I think I dodged a bullet with that one. So there we have it. There are some games that I took out of my backlog. Some I didn't finish, some I 100%ed to the detriment of my sanity, and some I really enjoyed and I would definitely replay again. I might even go back and 100% them. But yeah, let me know what game you've been playing in your backlog recently. Have you been enjoying it, or does it make you want to die? In which case you should probably just drop it. Don't be afraid to drop games that you're not enjoying. Don't force yourself through it. You know, I know you have this sense of pride that you need to push through the game that you bought, but games are supposed to be fun at the end of the day, and don't do what I did with Yakuza Kiwami 3. Dear God, do not do what I do with Kiwami 3. It's fucking miserable, man. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I need to do my obligatory shout out to Green Man Gaming here. I know I've mentioned it multiple times in this video, but I cannot stress enough how good of a storefront it is. If you're looking for games to add to your backlog, this is the perfect place. The amount of sales they do on here is criminal. It is insane. And a lot of games that I talk about on my backlog videos are on here, and they're usually on sale, especially The Evil Within. I'm just saying, you know, gotta go buy The Evil Within. I highly recommend it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and this video wouldn't have been possible without my Patreon supporters. That being Finn Trashboat, Nintendo Pro, Profit, Pitstab, Bouncer Storm Productions, and Daniel Levchenko. And a huge thank you to my channel members. That being Clinton Lake, T5C6X, Wentel, Swanky Pants 677, Adriel Lo Young, 8770, Mr. Salsa 2053, J Rash, Shake the Heavens, Imdisconcerted, NCR 8111, Courtney Williams DR9TB, Zello 007, On The Go Gaming 109, Eteria Sigma, Quack29, Plates Fly 8362, Liam Talks About, Chowder 1326, Marshala 4566, Marcus Platts, Joshua Whitford 5509, Evan Underhill 2342, Bidu Fadoom, Gabriel Padro 5589, Scary 1407, Eggy 613, Riff King 66, Andrea Stewart 8871, Galaxy 11243, Glusky 36, Floaty 38, Slopped Hog Within, El Hayes 117, also known as Some Balding Guy Rambling Into the Void, Griefgar, and Resistance Line. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry about the lack of uploads recently. I've had a lot of personal stuff going on, but I tried to make this backlog video a little bit longer than the other ones to make up for that. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.